Yeah, it is true. It is true. I'm fine with it. Sometimes I've been accused on this program of over-promising and then under-delivering. That's what some say on this program. Well. Look who promised. Look who delivered. Welcome in, everybody.
How we doing?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Look who's back.
How are you guys?
We're wonderful.
Good.
We're wonderful. Here he is, man. It's Three Guys Before the Game, episode number 509, and it is our Garrett Greene Returns episode. And I give him a ton of credit for coming back after the way he was treated rudely before this, just before the season started, just before practice began. Brad, you remember that situation.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He ran around Kercheval like he went around the Baylor defense on Saturday. He's not worried about any questions.
All I'm saying is this. I wish we were rolling tape. I wish we were rolling tape when Garrett walked in before we started recording and immediately launched on Kercheval. He just launched in on Kercheval. Like, if they went to, like, replay review, like, they'd come back out on the field and they go, after further review, the West Virginia quarterback did target Hoppy Kercheval and hit him right in the head. I mean, he didn't come here to play, Brad. He's not playing. I mean, he's just
ready for round two.
And the audacity of Kercheval.
You know, you guys,
What are you saying, you guys? He said it. Why are you saying you guys?
because you're like here nodding, because you're not like, oh yeah, Tony, whatever you say, Tony. I personally think that, and we don't have to talk about Garrett like he's not here, that Garrett can take a tough question or two.
Obviously.
Take any question.
And he can deliver.
Take any question. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, I tend to agree.
There you go. All right, so we okay now?
No.
We all good?
No, it might come back up. Three Guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By GoMart. Go for good times. Go for GoMart. Just got some intel from the folks at GoMart. Rudolph on Christmas Eve will be fully, what would you say this? That's a long night, and Rudolph has already ordered some of those fly rod Slim Jims that they sell there at GoMart, about 8 to 9 feet long. So he loves to nibble on those on those long nights. You can get that at GoMart. Get your rewards card too to save on their fuel and their food. Three Guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans, LouWendellMarineSales.com, and by the Conley CPA Group. We'll do some spreads on stats coming up in just a little bit. Conley CPA Group providing value beyond the numbers, and a special shout out to the person that makes it possible to have Garrett in the studio with us, and that is our guy Phil at Daniel's Men's Store of Morgantown. Yes.
Daniels.
Excuse me?
Daniels.
Yeah, Daniel's Men's Store there in Morgantown right there. And special thanks to Daniel's Men's Store of Morgantown and Fine Looking Phil, who provides the NIL, and look how he dressed, little buddy.
Here, he's layered up. He's layered up in nice
look at that. Hey,
Daniel stuff.
Can you zoom in on that? There we go. Thank you, Luke. So
there we go. Right
first, Garrett. Okay, that's the under. So is that the?
That's Horn Legend.
That's
a Horn Legend. You can't see it on that screen, but it's got a nice little pattern in it. Light blue and khaki, light blue and gold.
That's a quarter zip there.
Horn Legend quarter zip.
And then
the Peter Millar pullover.
That is like that's
elite.
That's elite.
Yeah,
because it's got that nice little puckering on that material there.
Don't sleep on the Horn Legend though. That's a nice material as well.
I got a lot of that.
Because you can go that. You can go work. You can go to the office with that. You can go right to the stadium. You can go to the Coliseum.
Yeah. Right?
You need to layer up like Garrett's done. You get the Peter Millar jacket on top of it.
You could put it underneath your jersey and without any... Well, I mean, you could. I don't think Austin over in the equipment room would mind if you put a quarter zip on underneath.
We're not allowed to wear sleeves. That's the rule. Offensive guys aren't allowed to wear sleeves.
Solid. That's a solid. Well, Phil sells, as you know, sells vests.
Yeah.
Maybe
put a nice puffer vest on underneath the pads.
Absolutely.
Plus, in the post-game interview, it'd be like NASCAR, like, it was tough out there, but thanks to the Daniels layover, Daniels gear, I was warm out there today. And
you say that it's coming. There's absolutely zero question. Like on Saturday, you kept going to your ball cap a lot when you went over to the sideline. Is that a deal?
No, that's a Austin Blake special.
That's government issue.
Yeah, that's Austin Blake special right there.
It was heavy ball count.
Here's a couple of things I noticed about you. We're going to jump all over shockingly on this program, but a couple of things. And Brad and I watched the end of the Baylor game on Monday or Tuesday because we hadn't. I see it happen, and then I need to go back and watch it 6 times and process everything went. But just totally off, not on the playing field, but going over to get the cap. Absolute 7 to 8 year NFL veteran move, like
very NFL post game move,
very NFL. And then when you walked across the field, when he jogged across the field, like it was absolute NFL dude, like 10 years in, just like
like he just won the AFC championship. He's on the way over there to say congratulations to the other quarterback.
But there was no like, this is a big month. Just like, okay, man, here I am. Yeah, just brought it down your throat. No timeouts. I've done that 3 of the last 4 halves. Nice to see you. Appreciate you. You guys have a good. Okay, take care. We'll see you later.
Thanks for having us.
I don't know if you noticed that at all, but I said to him, we were laughing about it.
Well, I learned a lesson the hard way. So
true that.
You didn't even have your helmet with you. It was just somewhere else. Someone else had it.
It was in the stands. But some lessons are hard, so I learned it that way.
Yeah, I mean. Since the last time we saw you, there's been a lot of lessons learned.
Yep, a lot.
Here's what I thought. I had this thought. This is who you were, and this is who you've become.
Who he was when? Before the season started?
When he got here, before the season a little bit, but you have matured from a wild bucking bronco to a wonderfully controlled field general. The process has happened.
Yep.
You've been tamed, but you still have that specialness, but now it's under control.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been here
Coach
long.
Scott calls it a zoo-raised lion.
What's he call it?
A zoo-raised lion. Can't teach instincts. So
zoo-raised lion. I like that.
In a zoo, if you throw a gazelle in the cage with a lion, what's the lion going to do?
Situation, yeah.
But the lion also knows how to be tamed, so it's a zoo-raised lion. That's a Coach Scott line.
Yeah, so basically that's when you're inside the white lines, you're a baller. When you're outside the white lines, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what I think. That's what we've watched. You've matured. Like wine, you can't drink it the first night to put it in the bottle. You wait, and then you get some really good wine, but it takes time.
Yep.
So
how did it change? We talked about this summer. And it was just hypothetical at that point, but how did it change your comfort level, your mindset, your approach to the game, knowing you had the game? You're the starter. You're the guy. You're not in having to make 2 plays, getting pulled out, back in. It's just your game. You got to go. How did it specifically change your approach?
I think it does a lot with just the confidence and overall like getting in like rhythm. Like the whole year, I never had to look over my shoulder and like think about what's coming next. It was kind of just all about getting in rhythm and just making plays like I know how to.
So you're balling. You got to the point like back when you were in high school, you're just like, I'm playing. Yeah. And you're not thinking, you're just going, okay, what's my next play? What's my next play? What's my next play? And once you get that mentality instead of like doing like, I'm not, then you start, yeah.
So that old cliche that it slows down the more you play, were you hitting that point as the season kept going?
Yeah.
Like by the end of the year, you're like, okay, whatever, throw whatever you got, I got it.
Probably second half after Penn State really, like the game really started to slow down.
Yeah.
And the stuff I was watching all week on film, I was kind of like putting those two together on the field. So I'd probably say after Penn State, like the second half of Penn State, I really started to see it well.
Yeah. You got super comfortable at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So but was there a moment, was there a particular quarter or series or play where just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I got it?
I mean, I guess you can start with, I threw like a seam ball to Cole Taylor off the left hash. He made a really nice catch, but I guess it was after that where that was the first like in rhythm throw I had or whatever it was. But after that, I really felt like I was getting into more of a rhythm.
Yeah,
that's your best ball, isn't it? The seam.
Yeah. I love ripping balls up the seam
because that's kind of baseball-esque.
Yeah,
that's just kind of like
grip it and rip it. Yeah,
I don't know. Your straight deep ball over the top's pretty damn good. That's like one of the best in the nation. Just say that kind of looks one of the best in the nation at throwing the deep ball.
Now, what, do you have any numbers to back that?
I have a special Spreads on Stats edition. Might be only Garrett Greene related today, but we'll get to that later.
Really? Yeah. So you just have a Spreads on Stats specific to him? Specific
to him, and I had to cut it down because I knew it was going to be too long. There's that many good positive stats. Not to talk about him if he's not here.
But. I know we don't want to. Do you ever have any? Has ever in practice or in a game a receiver come back to you and said, "Man, that thing was coming in hot"? I mean, take a little something off that, will you?
Yeah, you got a fastball.
Yeah, for sure. Pete Fox, Preston, especially when we were like younger, like freshmen, because we would always play Monday Night Football or throw routes or whatever, and I would probably let them fly a little too fast than they really should have been. But I'm learning as I go, kind of.
Yeah. Neil has said on a couple of occasions.
He can bring it.
Yeah, you bring it. If you did throw from a mound, what do you think you'd bring it at? Baseball, I'm talking about, not a football. What would you throw a baseball at?
How long do I have to like?
You warm up. You do that. You do everything you need to warm up to get it going. Like, would you be like an 85 mile an hour?
No, more.
No, yeah,
more.
I think this may be the ego talking, but I think I could hit 90. I think I could touch 90 off a mound.
You would hit 90.
Yeah, I think I could.
Yeah, it comes.
It's been a while stuff to throw to baseball, but I think I could get 90. No clue where it goes, but
I understand. That's
the speed would be there.
Yeah, if you needed to get somewhere quick, kind of like
Federal, 90 plus.
kind of like Federal Express. If it absolutely positively needs to be there, he'll get it there some way.
Yep.
Neil has said on a couple of occasions that what they're working with you now mostly is just some base fundamental stuff on feet and hip. Walk me through exactly what's going on there, because I'm happy about that.
Yep.
Because that's fixable stuff that I'm sure now and until you go again next year, obviously the bowl game. But other than that, you're going to work on that. What's going on there?
Yeah, so basically the way Coach Brown has kind of described it to me is as since I'm a pretty decent athlete, a lot of this stuff growing up and my early playing years, I've been able to get away with it. But now that I'm getting every single rep and every single snap, that kind of those things are magnified, and you can kind of see the big misses when my feet aren't right and my hips aren't right. So I've been watching a cut up of like all my missed throws. So I think leading into the bowl game, and then all of next season through winter, summer, spring ball, and fall camp, that's kind of going to be the emphasis of me.
Last time you were here, you had been at the Manning camp, and you said, hey, it really gave me a new appreciation of watching tape. As the season went on, how much Manning stuff did you incorporate? How'd that go?
Yeah, if you look on the board in our film room, I had like a weekly schedule of cut-ups that I was watching, formations, situations, stuff like that, and that's basically all stuff that I got from the Manning camp. So when I would watch it, I would check it off, and then it went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday morning was just like a quick cut-up, top-of-look stuff. But that really helped my preparation, and as the season went on, I really started to see the things I was watching on film. I was seeing them on the field.
Yeah, which makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
so it's all about anything, right? Like that's a story of life. If you're comfortable in what it is that you're doing, it just happens easier. And until you get to that point, sometimes it's a struggle.
Yep.
Sometimes
you had a wonderful balance this year of when to stay and complete the throw and when to take off running. Mm-hmm. Straight instinct. Did you have to work on that a little bit? Did you have to kind of talk yourself through staying patient back there? How'd you determine that? Because it was spot on almost the whole season.
I think really kind of going to the second half of Penn State. I think the early part of Penn State, I was leaving the pocket too early. I was too jittery and too antsy. Obviously, really good defense, really big environment, first game of the year. But after I completed that pass to Cole Taylor, I think that's when I really started to get comfortable and not really feel the rush and not really see the rush, just kind of trust in the best offensive line in the country. That they were going to protect me.
Yeah, makes a world of difference.
Yep.
I mentioned this earlier, so let's talk about this, and we're going to hop all over the place. The driving the field with no timeouts. You do it against Cincinnati. You do it first half Baylor. You do it at the end of the game against Baylor. And Neil has said that's something that
did it Houston too.
Yeah, that's true.
End of the game, Houston.
That is true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. My bad.
Good pull.
Thank you. Spreads on stats. So he said you guys rep that all the time. You rep that all the time. Walk us through your mindset when you go out there. I mean, they score, they go up. It hasn't been, obviously things are going on. What's in your head, and do you specifically do anything mentally leading up to situations like that so that when you do go out there, you looked chill?
Yeah, I think it just goes back to the confidence that I have in the group that I have with me. Between the O-line, the wideouts, the running backs, everybody. And that's something that we practice all the time. So, as an offense, we feel like we can score at any time. Anytime someone touches the ball, we feel like it could go to the house. And Jaheim had a lot of runs like that where it doesn't really look like much, and then a few seconds later, he's 60 yards down the field, and you're like, how the hell did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a confidence that I have in the guys, and we rep it so much. Between summer, spring ball, fall camp, I've probably done 100 2-minute drills in my time here, so it's just kind of just second nature and just going out and playing ball with the boys.
Do you know you're going to Hudson Clement on that little receiver screen first?
Yeah.
Okay. What was why was that the play that made sense there?
Because we felt like they were getting a lot of early down pressures. So like first, second down, they were bringing a lot of pressure, and one of the best ways to beat pressure is to throw a screen in right behind them, because it slows down their pass rush and it gets 4 or 5 guys out of the play.
Did you have any idea the significance of Zach's injury when that happened?
No, and that's kind of the bummer from that game, because I feel like I couldn't really enjoy it post game as much as I really wanted to, because it was a great win. Defense came away with some huge stops late, and then offense obviously went down and scored the game winner. But I just hurt for him. How much he's meant to me, how much he's meant to this program and the state. I don't think it can really be put into words.
Yeah, totally agree with you.
Did you say anything to Brandon when he came in? Because that's the other part of that story that's amazing. Not only Zach with the wherewithal to get himself off the field, but Yates coming right in, dropping in at center, and hitting you with perfect steps. Do you say anything, or he just steps in, does his job, you guys got to get moving?
Well, to be honest, we just really didn't have time to really talk. I just kind of gave him the call, and we kind of rocked with it.
Yeah.
But post game, I gave him a hug and told him that people really aren't gonna know how big that was, stepping in there at that moment, not playing center basically all year.
Yeah.
And delivering snaps, getting the calls right, getting the mic IDs right. People don't really talk about that, but that's something that if you know football, it's a pretty big deal.
In a huge situation, in a pressure-packed situation. Yeah. Go back to kind of what he asked you there. So you come in on that last drive. Is it in your head we're scoring, or you just simply, what's the play? I'm just executing each play as it comes. Honestly, you're not thinking of the end goal. It's just the next play.
In those moments, I'm just playing ball. It's backyard football with the boys, and in those 2-minute situations, because basically all hell breaks loose, and the time's running down, bodies are going everywhere, you're getting plays fast, so you really don't have time to think about, okay, I got to get this next first down or whatever. Obviously, you have to have situational awareness to where if you're close to out of bounds, get out of bounds, stop the clock, and then if you're in the middle of the field, get a first down and go down. But after that, it's just basically just playing ball with the boys.
You're just getting the play call, making the play call, and going.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Was it the same on the wheel route to Jaheim White? Because Neil Brown said that you all had practiced that, but had not run that in a game. So you get the call okay, but it doesn't occur to you, wow, we haven't run that in a game yet. So it's just okay, let's run this play.
Yeah, with how much walkthroughs and practice and stuff we do, there's probably not a play that Coach Brown can call that I'm like, oh God, what is this? We work those plays all from spring ball all the way to fall camp and even in season, that at this point in my career, everything's just kind of second nature.
Mm-hmm. You saw he was busting open. He was going to be open, or did you?
So that's good. Yeah. Could you see how wide open he was, or you have a point that when he turns that corner, you're throwing it on a timing? What did you see on that? Yeah.
Well, really It was Jaheim White on their number 41,
yes.
And the corner we kind of ran Hudson went inside in the seam, and then kind of Jaheim was outside,
yes,
and you can see the corner come in with
the
came on
Hudson,
seam, and as soon as he did that, Jaheim's one of the best. He's one of the best athletes in America, and it was him on, no offense to number 41, but that's just
a mismatch.
No chance.
Yeah, and it looked like 41 thought he had a pass off to the corner, right?
Yeah,
so you're watching the corner.
Yeah, so
that was your read. As soon as he came in, you said, "Okay, I got Jaheim. I'm hitting it."
Yeah, exactly. And then I really didn't even think about the throw; just let it rip.
Dude, you stroked it so well. I got nervous. I mean, that bad boy. It's in. See, I got binoculars when I'm doing it, and I'm watching it, and I look down there, and I see my guy running down there, and I'm going like, he is absolutely wide open, and you feathered it in there, and it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, well, you can pull up practice clips from Tuesday. We had that same look, not in the same field zone. This was kind of we snapped it on the 50, so it was kind of more open field. But we ran that play 2 times last week, and it was 2 incompletions, a missed throw by me and then a drop, and then obviously the Baylor game we converted it.
To the wheel guy was same thing.
To
the
Jaheim,
corner crash and you hit
to Jaheim on the wheel route,
and you missed it.
Oh man,
yeah, and we didn't connect on it. But
Practice makes perfect.
Yep, exactly.
You had a couple of nice runs on that drive. What were those plays initially supposed to be? Were they runs, or it was see you later, guys?
No, and Coach Brown's been pretty good about like giving me freedom of if I see a rush lane, I can take it. And that's kind of what happened on those 2 rush plays. You know, their guys rushed super high and super wide, and then our tackles and guards kind of just pushed them off. And then I saw open grass and got what I can, and then got out of bounds.
Jaheim gave you a great block on the one.
Yeah,
you had the edge coming right, sprung you right up the left side there. Yeah.
Describe your relationship with Neil Brown as the season since you got here to where it is now.
Yeah, I think even going back to before I even got here was, you know, he was my first offer when I was a sophomore in high school. So I don't know how old I was, but I was probably a 14, 15-year-old kid. And then, you know, kind of fast forward it's been 7 years, but fast forward 7 years now, I'm 22. And, you know, kind of we have a really great relationship where, you know, he can jump my ass and he can do all those things, but at the end of the day, we know how we feel about each other, and I wouldn't want to play for anybody else.
That's interesting you say that, because that's kind of my perception too, that he, like, it's almost like father-son in the sense like he cuts you no slack, and you don't want to have any slack cut. He knows what you can do. He's got total trust in you, but at the same time, he's going to let you know, dude, just do what I tell you to do, and it'll all work, and it's all work.
Yep, that's a great way to put it.
If I were the coach of a team that needed a quarterback, I would call you, okay? So how many calls have you gotten?
Here he goes.
Here he goes. See, he's the catfish, always digging up from the bottom.
That's crazy.
How many calls have you gotten to say, come play for us, throwing money around, A, and B, are you open to any of those, or are you going to definitely be here next year?
I mean, anybody could call me, and I'm not leaving. So,
but you've gotten calls.
Anybody could call me, and I'm not leaving.
So you'll be here next year, no question.
1,000%.
1,000, Hoppy. Not 90, not 95, 97, 99, 1,000.
I mean, we're in a world, and again, not to talk like
he knows that.
We're in a world where people are going to get calls.
Yeah,
well, good. He'll get paid here too. He's gonna listen. He's gonna be the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year preseason, so he got to come back here.
The call he takes,
Player of the Year.
The call he takes is when fine-looking Phil over at Daniels calls him and says, "Hey, will you go down there and sit with the 3 guys despite Hoppy's questions?" Isn't that true?
Yeah, that's exactly how we worded it.
I mean, yeah.
All right, I don't have any more questions.
No, in all seriousness,
sit over here.
No, in all seriousness, though, this is retention week, as you well know, and it's a hard week. So that's all morphed literally since. I mean, it didn't even exist when you got here.
Yeah.
So how much at all do you even talk with your boys about stuff, or is it just kind of happen and you just kind of everyone does their deal? I mean, I don't mean to deal literally, but everyone's just kind of doing their thing.
Yeah, I think it's all dependent on like who the player is. You know, if it's somebody that, you know, I have a connection with that, you know, possibly maybe thinking about leaving or whatever, you know, I probably wouldn't stress too much about it. But if it was one of my guys or someone that really care about, you know, I would kind of just have a real conversation, not really persuading him to stay here, but kind of making them think about, all right, if I leave, the pros, the cons, and then if I stay here, the pros and the cons.
Am I correct that your mom, when you signed here, she said you're going to West Virginia, you're staying at West Virginia, and you're going to graduate from West Virginia?
Yeah, that's kind of been my whole family's deal. Is, you know, this state's done a whole lot for you, so you're going to stay and you're going to get your degree from there.
Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about this as well earlier today. You are old school in the sense that you had to go through adversity and perseverance before you got your opportunity. Yeah. And that's how it used to work. Mm-hmm. Because unfortunately now a lot of times when people get into these situations, they bolt. And maybe sometimes it works for them, sometimes it doesn't work for them. But like, to me, like, you're in a category for me now of a guy that hung through, you went through the obstacles and you got the reward. And that to me is like the ultimate thing, because that's the best life lesson right there. And so, you know, it wasn't all easy, but you get through it, and now at the end, you're going to go like, I had my year that I just had, and I've got another year coming up there. That's the reward. And you learned a ton about yourself by not saying, pee on this, I'm out of here, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, and, I think it kind of just goes back to my family. Like whenever I was going through that time, my mom sent me a verse, John 13:7, that says, like, although you don't know what I'm doing now, eventually you will understand. And that's kind of the story of my career so far. Played a little, didn't play at all, and then kind of last year kind of back and forth, and then eventually, it ended up being the starter. Yeah.
You think your mom could come on Three Guys with us and talk? She'd be willing?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, because that one post you had, she plays catch with them, and she can bring it.
Yeah, he told us that last time.
Yeah,
that was Mother's Day. Yeah, so with my dad being a professional baseball coach, obviously in the springtime and a lot in fall league and stuff like that, he was gone a whole lot. He did his best to come around us, but I was a little kid, so I always wanted to throw the football around, and my mom was the best damn wideout I've ever had.
Yeah, absolutely. She can bring it. You got off social media during the season. You just turned it back on.
Yeah.
How was that?
There's no really need to be on it. Like I got it back when I needed to post something or whatever. But the only people's that opinions matter is inside that building, and and if your opinion matters to me, you have my cell phone number. So there's no real need to be on social media.
What's it like when you are carrying the ball on like a 4th and 1, and it's just like everybody's going to push you forward, it just looks like a scrum with 20 guys in there. Yeah. I mean, you're like, where am I? Where's the ball? Who the hell is pushing me from behind? What's going on? What is that like? People grabbing the ball, people grabbing it. What's that like?
Yeah, it's just bodies everywhere. Like you're getting blood on you that you don't know where the hell's from. Like there's people laying on you that you don't even know they were in on the play. Yeah, it's just it's a cluster. You know what? I'd say that.
What are you looking for? Like when you get it, where are you going first? Like, are you going
right in the
Zach's right knee, back of his right knee, and going?
Usually it's like game by game, which side Frazier's going to, but then I just kind of
just tucking behind him and going.
Didn't you see like you feel a terrible pressure behind you? What's Nestor doing? These guys.
No, it's normally Traylon Davis.
Traylon Davis.
Traylon Davis, and you guys have almost dated. I mean,
yeah, basically.
Yeah, I mean that was.
Did you set number goals before the season?
No, just win total goals. Because that's the only really stat that matters.
The stat that we all talked about in the offseason, okay, the one thing Garrett has to do is limit his turnovers. That's the thing.
You said it to us. That's what he told us.
Yeah, and you told him. Yeah. You confirmed. And like, oof. Senator, you have those numbers down there by any chance? How'd we do?
Did you only had 4 picks on an entire season? Yeah, and not all 4 were yours. Not all 4 were yours.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying. He doesn't have to respond to that. I'm just saying that's 4 interceptions. It's unbelievable. 15 touchdown passes, 4 picks. Doesn't count the rushing touchdowns. Not all 4 picks were yours. That's an incredible season just in and of itself. For that being the thing you said you had to work on the most, how were you able to do that? What caused you to be able to keep the interceptions down like that?
I think it all just goes back to my preparation and kind of how I prepared week in and week out. I think that's kind of the mark of a quarterback is how well he plays, or how well he prepares, and then translating that to how well he plays. And I think learning from JT and learning from Daggy, when in my younger years, kind of set a great foundation for how to prepare and how to know a game plan and know what the defense is doing in and out.
We'll go through. Pro Football Focus does a stat called turnover-worthy plays. So it's not just interceptions, but maybe it's passes that probably should have turned into turnovers. You didn't really have any of those either. You only had 9 all season. So were there times when you would normally have thrown it into a tight space that you pulled back on? I mean, I can only think of one where you tried to force one in, and I get it because you were rolling.
Yeah. I mean, I think
last home game.
Yeah.
Right.
Down at the goal line?
Yeah, that was a heat check.
I was just going to say.
It was a good heat check. You were rolling. Things were working great. That's a heat check.
Wasn't too fond of that one,
yes.
I will say. But
I'm not sure that's not the only one you had all season. Like, how did you, in the moment, I know you're back there and things are coming at you, and you're not sitting there able to walk it through like we do when you watch it, but how did you rein that back in?
I think that, Coach Brown and Coach Reagan, they do a great job of just harping on me that, treat every play as its own play. So, not if we run one play into this look and they show that same look, the outcome may not be the exact same. So it's kind of just treating each play independent from one another, and that kind of saves you from all the guesswork.
What happens when, and take the Baylor game, is the first half, you guys are just just give us the ball. I mean, just up and down the field, no stopping. And then things stall out in the second half until that final drive. I mean, what happens? What happens then?
Yeah, Baylor came out and they played really, really well on defense. Their record doesn't show it, but they have really, really good players on defense. I think number 2 is a really good player. 55 was a really good player. They have a pretty good secondary. And then we had some costly penalties that kind of stalled out drives and, get us in 3rd and longs, 3rd and, extra long sometimes. And that really kills an offense. It's tough to be, phenomenal as an offense if you're having to convert 3rd and 15s, 3rd and 20s sometimes. Yeah. But then, our guys are super resilient, and that's kind of been the theme this whole year, is just how resilient our group is. And, we were able to respond.
That 3rd down was critical for you guys. Sports Info Solutions put a stat out yesterday. You guys were 4th in the country, so it was 3rd and long rate, and that translates to the lowest percentage of set of downs reaching 3rd and 7 or longer. 4th best in the country, meaning you had the 4th fewest of those situations. Your 1st and 2nd downs were really good this year. That's critical to you guys, right? Yeah. Then you get to 3rd and 4, and that whole playbook's available to you.
Yeah, then that's kind of, in fall camp, Coach Brown had a tracker of, P and 10, 1st and 10, and then 2nd down efficiency. So that's kind of something that we tracked and we, worked on throughout the whole entire fall camp, was how to get better at 1st downs and how to get better at 2nd downs, because he has the statistics, but, if you get 4 or more on 1st down, your chances to convert, your chances to score, skyrocket. Yeah. So that was really a point of emphasis this offseason.
Let's talk about Neil for a second and play calling. And I realize a lot of what I'm about to say comes because of success on 1st down. It comes from lack of turnovers from you. But the playbook seemed to really expand and open up this year. Multiple sets, multiple motions. Every game there was a new wrinkle put in. Give us a little bit of behind the scenes about how you were able to add and stack different formations throughout the year and let him kind of get creative with you.
Well, I think it all starts with our personnel and who we have at the skill positions. Not even talk about the O-line because they know how good they are. But, we have Jaheim White, who you saw in that last catch. He's great hands. He had the Baylor catch. So I think for an offense, it was just how do we get those guys the ball in open space. So we had Rodney on a couple of jet sweeps, and we had Cole Taylor up the seams, and we had Traylon Ray running deep ball. So it's just how do we get the ball in those guys' hands.
And you could just run multiple sets. During our last game, a former WV defensive coordinator was with us, and he had sketched out the 7 or 8 different plays you run off the same formation, and we were just tallying up as you went. That's stuff that you weren't doing last year. You couldn't do last year, but you were able to do it this year because of all the components that were in place, right?
Yeah. And Coach Brown does a really good job of kind of making looks and how stuff looks on offense really, really hard for the defense. But then the play calls are still the play calls. Like for a quarterback, like the spots, the people are going to be – there's going to be people in the same spots. It just may change who's going to be there. Right. But, the pieces are the pieces.
Yeah, super creative. It was fun to watch this year.
3 guys before the game brought to us by Comax Business Systems. Let's talk about your phone system today. If it's old, needs updated, guess what? Comax can do that for you. Everyone in your office, whether it's 1 digital line or 1,000 lines, can have their own dedicated line. Remote call forwarding, anything that you need. So if you're a business owner and it's time to get that business phone system looked at or replaced, Comax digital phone systems competitively priced, and they are efficient. Ultimately, it saves your company money. It makes your company money. Comax Business Systems. Call for a free quote today. 3 guys also brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. You ever go on a pontoon boat, do you?
Yeah, I've been on them a few times in my day.
Look at this bad boy. So Lou Wendell Marine Sales, Garrett, is our sponsor. Right now we've got a super-duper special on. That's called that's the Avalon 2385 Entertainer, top-of-the-line Tri-Tune. They got a 3-guy special going on right now. I mean, the whole kit, the whole caboodle, plus a Honda 150 motor trailer, $89,774. Tell them you're a 3 Guys listener. And I don't know if you know this or not, Garrett, but all James Bond movies that use a pontoon come from Lou Wendell Marine Sales.
That's unconfirmed.
Huh?
That's unconfirmed.
We still haven't confirmed
No,
that?
I don't, they're still efforting.
I'm pretty sure that's true. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, Lou Wendell Marine Sales, the premier. This is what I do know. Lou Wendell Marine Sales is the premier pontoon boat dealer in the state of West Virginia. Just like Fine Look and Phil, the premier clothier, haberdasher in the state of West Virginia.
Clothier.
Right? And he's got that stuff. Bowl game.
Yep.
How about that, dog?
Yeah.
Any particulars? I mean, you want to go to Florida, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be fun to go back home, but really, we can play wherever. I don't care.
Physically, you've played 12. I would imagine you're like, oh, I need a little rest here. How you feeling physically after?
Feel good.
Good.
You know, ankle and rib, but, you know, feel good.
Okay.
What was that game? There was one game, well, a couple games. Like you looked like you were really hurt. Like you limped off. Like, out.
Okay.
UCF. How possibly did you go down like that and then come back in one play later? Because I thought you broke something.
Yeah.
What was going on?
Yeah, they just, you know, I went in the tent and then, you know,
Is there magic in the tent? Is there magic? Or
no, it's tough. It comes out.
Vince and Zach did a great job, and you know,
kind of like Mr. Miyagi. Right?
Felt ready to go.
Yeah. Like when you walk into the tent, they're like, it's like, and they're like that special stuff, and there's a woo doo 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 doo, and they just kind of.
Yeah, Vince has some secrets that.
Yeah, right.
You know, like he got me from, you know, after pit game not really being able to walk, like in a walking boot on Monday, to, you know, I was able to be ready to play against Texas Tech next week.
Yeah. So let's talk about that week, TCU week, where you don't think you're going to go.
Yeah.
Nico gets hurt midweek, and you go out there. What was your percentage of health against TCU?
Tough to remember back that far, but probably.
You weren't going to go, but you started like Thursday. You got
probably
better.
Like somewhere in the 60s, probably.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, like when we found out he was hurt and he couldn't go, I really felt like I was in high school again, throwing for college coaches, because like during meetings, Coach Brown and the trainer like got some wideouts, and we went up in the indoor, and Coach Brown was just like calling out routes, and like I was just throwing routes. So I really felt like I was in high school trying to get an offer again.
We in watching the games, we noticed many times that perhaps you'd be having a conversation with the opposing team. There'd be discussions going on. I forget which game it was, Brad, but it seemed like there was 2 or 3 of them and one of Garrett Greene, and discussions going back and forth.
Yeah.
That was early in the season.
Early.
Was that
Penn State?
Because you described it. No, one Penn State. It was like Pitt, maybe.
TCU.
TCU. Hyenas might have been referenced there.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's standing on his own like it just closed it.
Yeah, those D-backs.
Malone came over, got your back. Malone was right there.
Malone was right there.
Morgantown kid.
So
I don't know if you need anybody to get back, but Malone was there just in case.
Give us some characterization of how that starts, what might be said in those circumstances when you young men have those discussions.
Yeah, you know, I just asked them like really how their family's doing, you know, how their mom's doing, how their dad's doing, you know, how they like the weather, you know, if it was too hot or too cold for them, and really just like how their day was going. That's kind of all that's said in those instances.
And they were returning the same questions to you, right?
Yeah, just asking how I was doing, how'd the flight treat me, how's the hotel, stuff like that.
Yeah, good.
Generally, though, the theme of those conversations.
Just having a discussion.
Chat with the young.
The theme of those conversations are generally this. Am I right or wrong? The theme is the defensive player will say, "You ain't anything," and you're saying like, "I'm going to be here all night long. You
all
can't
day.
stop." That's basically what it is all the time, right? Like
Yeah,
you can't stop me.
That's in between asking, you know, how their family's
exactly.
doing and stuff like that.
I get that. You referenced this earlier. The low point of your season, the Houston game at the end. Okay. So again, as I said to you earlier on, perseverance and going through hard times is when you come out of it, you go like, wow. How did you deal? Like, how crushed and what was your best piece of advice that you got to get through that week, and let's go play the next game?
Yeah, you know, I think it just goes back to my weekly routine. You know, I mean, after that game obviously sucked, and you know, I made a mistake that, you know, starting quarterback can't make in that situation. But you know, Friday morning, I visited the hospital. I actually started a fundraiser for her. Her name's Katie, Katie Strong. And me and Frazier did that at like 9 in the morning on the Friday after, and that kind of like puts a lot of things into perspective. That here this girl is, she's a sophomore in high school. And she's really battling her ass off, battling for her life. So
this was the day after the game?
Yeah, this was the morning after.
And you got home at whatever it was, 3, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, whatever. So that was the next morning. I kind of just showered, rolled out of bed, and went up there. But it kind of just puts everything in perspective for me. On the Sunday, I went to church, and then everything was going after that.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. That's all mindset stuff. If you let that fester and you let it kill you, it'll crush you.
Yep.
If you go the other way on the thing, you can use it as a source. Absolutely. I think Hoppy's been better behaved.
Yeah, I feel like he's got some questions lined up. So
yeah,
just fire away.
He's been doing some stuff. Hey, I'm not even going to.
I'll just tell you this. I mean, everybody's stroking you, and they should. You had a great year. I've seen a lot of games.
Here comes a heater.
I've seen a lot of games. To be a Mountaineer fan is at times is a suffer. I've graduated from the university, and I really enjoy the year. We cover it, but as a fan, I enjoy the year. I enjoyed watching you all play. Yeah. And I think that was one of the things, and Brad and I talked about this a lot about this team. There were many times where you go, not with this team, you go, who's going to score? Who's going to make a play? What's going to happen here? There were frustrations. And this team brought a lot of joy this year. And for that, I think you all deserve a lot of thanks. And I know it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But you brought a lot of joy to Mountaineer Nation this year.
Thank you. Yeah, and this team is kind of one of the closest teams I've been on. Everybody from defensive linemen to even quarterbacks and safeties to O linemen. I think top to bottom, this was a really, really close core and close group that I think that's what eventually led to success.
Yeah, it makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yep, no doubt.
Yeah.
What's something that common folks don't know about Neil Brown that makes him good at what he does?
I think just how he goes about business and how he, not really so much football-wise, but just how he develops men. I came in here as an 18-year-old boy, graduated high school early, came from the sunshine to the snow, and it really I say I was born and raised in Florida, but then I really grew up in West Virginia, and that couldn't be more true. Like, I wrote my first check, and I hadn't had to ever write a check before.
Yeah.
But it's just little stuff like that like my laundry.
I don't think they do that anymore.
I got to do my laundry.
Sure.
Stuff like that, like making your bed. But all those stuffs are kind of so small, but on the greater scale, just really becoming a man, and I think that's what he really does best that people don't really realize is how good of men he makes.
Yeah. Fifth quarter program has been good. We talked about that last time when you went overseas. By the way, we received a couple of emails here. Still have some outstanding bills at a few bars in Greece when you made your way over there.
I got to get on that.
Try to wrap that up.
God forbid I have to go back there and handle it. That would just be terrible.
I forget one of your teammates told me that they're going over. They're going. Oh heck! I just talked with them. I forget who it was, but they're going over this year or this summer. You're not going back, are you? Oh, you're going back.
We're back.
The sequel.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, we're going back. So
when's that? In the summer?
I have no idea. I've just been worried about Saturdays.
Oh, I get it.
So
now you're going to go back.
Yeah, but I do know that we're going back.
So when you're all done, I mean, when you finally the air's out of the ball. I mean, I don't know when it's going to be. What do you want to do?
I want to do something in finance, financial advising, wealth management, something like that. My original plan was I want to be offensive coordinator, but after seeing how much those guys busted their ass and how much they're at the stadium, I like my free time. So
yeah, well, you'll do fantastic. You do fantastic. So one of the really great Mountaineers of all time, Undred Johnson, who's from Florida, he played at Stranahan down in Fort Lauderdale. He came here as a running back in the 80s. He was part of the undefeated team that played for the national championship. And he became a financial advisor right out of football and has done just tremendous.
Maybe,
Oh, sure.
We get in with the get with Undred.
Absolutely. We can meet.
Yeah.
I remember the Howe family does that as well.
Oh, yeah. Your wife.
Assist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certified financial planner.
Yeah, absolutely. So
big time investment person here in Morgantown.
We can get that. We can get that. We'll cut you out of here in a second, but you good?
Yeah, you're good.
Christmas-wise, Is this by the way, is this your favorite podcast that you do?
Without a doubt.
Thank you.
Not even close.
What is Greene family tradition at Christmas? Is there something that is just like was a standard that you guys always did?
I mean, other than my mom's cooking, you know, my dad's a really, really big basketball fan, so we always had basketball on, which I don't really care for. Like,
really?
Yeah,
well, this is interesting.
Yeah, I'm not really like basketball would probably be my fourth favorite sport to watch.
How about that?
What's third then? Because it's obviously baseball, football, and
it'd go football, baseball, and then I may get flack for this, but golf. I love watching golf.
You like to play too,
right.
I love to play, and then like watching. Like my favorite week of the year is the Augusta Masters week, because all I do is just sit there and just watch.
Yeah,
just people do something that I could never do.
Do you watch football?
So
like other college games, you sit down and watch college games in season, or you get away from it. When you're away from it, you want to be away from it.
Yeah, so really during season and stuff like that, I try to not really watch too much game, just because I watch so much football like throughout the week
Film
that
and stuff, right?
You know, I kind of just want to decompress a little bit and not watch it. So like I really don't watch NFL football on Sunday.
Will you pick it up now? Watch NFL now and bowl games as you're going through, or
so I always watch the bowl games because I feel like they're just so fun and so interesting that. You know, you never know what could happen.
Oh, they're crazy now.
Yeah.
You don't know who's not playing, who is playing. It's
Yeah, so probably now I'll start watching more football until we eventually get to game week where I have to really start preparing.
Yeah. What's your favorite golf course you play around here?
Pete Dye.
And what do you shoot?
My personal best is 81 there.
No, it's pretty good.
It's my personal best.
What do you think if you start to really, when you become a financial advisor and you got to take your clients out to play all the time, what do you think you'll get it down to?
My goal is I want to become scratch. That's my goal.
Is that realistic?
Yeah, I think so. It's just my dad always jokes with me because I'll pound it 300 yards and then we'll end up with the same or with the same score, but drive for show, putt for dough. And right now, where my golf game is, I'm a big show guy.
Your dad, great with a fungo bat.
Oh gosh,
he could hit that to the catcher straight up in the air.
Oh, like he maybe hits a fungo as good as he throws it. Like he could probably bust the camera lens out with just it's insane.
It's one of the hardest things in sports.
Those guys,
the infield fungo pop up to the catcher is one of the single hardest things to do in sports.
And he'll
fact.
Really,
Garrett, fact.
Yeah. That
is. You think about what you're doing because you got a bat about that big and you're hitting a ball straight up in the air for the catcher,
and it's got to have backspin because in the game whenever they hit a pop it to the catcher, it always comes back towards the field.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to get the right spin on it to where it comes back.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's an art.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are like they rank right up there with like pool sharks and everything else. I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah, because the other thing is also at the lower level, like a high school and even some of the smaller colleges, you got both teams are watching you, right? It's the last thing that happens.
100%.
So you don't want to go to do it and it goes out into center field and everybody's on your butt, right? So you got pressure. It's pressure.
Yeah.
It's one of the rare pregame pressure moments there is.
Yeah. You've looked really good sometimes. Well, not sometimes. I mean, going into the stadium this year when you do the walk there, Mountaineer Man Trip, our boy Phil took care of you, didn't he?
Yeah, that's his specialty.
So when you go there and like, how's the conversation like? Are you saying, Phil, I'm feeling mauve or I'm feeling bow tie? What do you
just let him pull it out?
Or is he pulling it?
Well, I'm really gonna divert this one to the boss. My mom, she sends me pictures of I like this, and I kind of just do what I'm told.
You're the model.
Yeah, I kind of just do what I'm told. So whatever she wants is what I'm. She shut down the full seersucker suit this year. my mom put the kibosh on that one.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a south of the border.
Yeah,
that's
you could
kind of a
absolutely
southern
pull that
thing,
off climate-wise. I don't think you wanted that.
No.
You need something that you can wear more through seasons.
Exactly.
Different seasons. Well, he just did this yesterday. We got to find it. Well, you got new suit coming for the bowl game, right?
Oh, you got your bowl suit already?
Yeah. Did you go? So last time you were here, we discussed this. Did you go pants like ankle length again? Right, you went the shorter pants, or did you drop these down a little bit?
Yeah,
a little bit older since you were here last time.
Yeah, my dad hates the short pants, but I'm going with the short pants.
Yeah, you can pull the short pants off while you
can
pull it.
You
get old, you can't.
No, you can do that.
What'd you get? Do you have a picture of it? What do we get here? Because you got pocket square. You do a top hat this time or no top hat?
Top hat?
No top hat.
Walking stick. We had a walking stick.
Oh, yeah, that's strong.
Yeah, so
what is it?
A little gray, blue, and black.
If we go to the Pop-Tart Bowl,
jacket.
I may have a little caveat in there.
May go back for seersucker if you do that one.
Possibly.
You might need to do that. Nice brown, one of those Johnson & Murphy shoes, I think. Yep. Like maroonish, reddish tie.
Yep.
Blue pants. Very good. Pocket square.
Well, I mean, we're not surprised. I mean, Phil dresses the stars. I mean, right? Phil, from A to Z, he'll.
But
dress.
truly, the best part, on all seriousness, when you go into Phil, the best part is you can pull what Garrett. You just walk in and say, all right, "Go ahead, what? Bring it out," and he just starts dropping things down, and all you have to do is yes, no. That's it, right?
And then
everything: belt, shoes, socks, pocket square, the whole thing.
My fun thing is if by some weird chance it's not a perfect fit, he runs the tailors out. Tailors come out. Choo!
Tailors, plural.
The tailors, right? I mean,
Harry, chalk.
Yeah,
chalk.
But Harry's a lead guy. Harry just kind of looks up at you, and then all of a sudden he goes, boom, boom.
Yeah, there's no better feeling than a perfectly fitted shirt from Daniels.
There you go.
He had to give me one yesterday. It's holiday season, so you tend to be carry a little extra water weight sometimes during the season. Just comes in there hoppy trying to jack it on yesterday. I said, we're a little tight. I got to be able to. He goes, it's okay. We'll just have Harry just pop this right out here. We'll just ease it out. A little chalk line right on the coat there. Makes it really easy.
Yeah. Hey, before he's got to go to class. So listen, before we let him go, you gonna do some spreads on stats with him? You got his spreads on stats numbers?
Yeah, I got it right here. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, wait a second. Let me just do a little bit of this because we got
special Garrett Greene edition.
So I check the numbers.
There we go.
We'll just go right to the numbers. Here comes the heater. Let's jump into the analytics portion of the show.
Time for spreads on stats. Special edition. First time we've ever done just a straight individual.
First time we've done straight individual. First time we've done straight individual while the individual is sitting right there.
Yeah, it's true. And we're happy he's here despite Hoppy. Three guys brought to Spreads on Stats, brought to us by Conley's CPA Group, providing full-service public accounting, consulting.
Been a big fan all year.
Serving clients throughout the state of West Virginia, surrounding states since 1985. They do provide value beyond the numbers, which means they're just not filling out your tax returns. They will offer you consultation, what's best for your business, auditing, assurance, tax planning, preparation, consulting, and advisory, and also, as that guy told me in Florida when I was down there for the basketball tournament, he said, you know they do offer remote CFO services. And I said, yes, I do know that. I say that on the read that I do. And I said, and it's also working very well for you to know that. And he says, well, I'm a tax lawyer. So he respected the CFO services. All right. Give me some Garrett Greene numbers.
So here we go, Garrett. So normally in this, we'll give like keys to the game, find different matchups. We use the analytics to look inside the game, like coming up in basketball before you leave. I'm going to mention that St. John's likes to go to that left short paint. That's where you're going to have to defend them.
Down the block?
That's their main point. Yeah, they'll shoot that about 7% of the time. They'll go for field goals in that part. 12 of 29 on the year, so they shoot it pretty well from there.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we normally do. Okay. This is a little different. This is all about you.
Oh, gosh.
All right, excuse me. Let me put the glasses on here real quick.
Garrett Greene, welcome. This is your life.
So I think, well, I'll save it till the end. Here's just some straight numbers. Ready for this? Garrett Greene, second best pro football focus grade in the Big 12 among quarterbacks. Very good season. But how about this? Seventh best grade nationally you had this year. Of all quarterbacks that played college football, you had the seventh best grade. Point of clarification, I saw somebody put a tweet out there yesterday with this that they were actually incorrect. They had you at 8th, you're 7th, based on grade. Big time throws, we talked about that a little bit ago. So that's a pro football focused stat that measures great throws that you had, even if they didn't necessarily turn into touchdowns, graded as big time throws. You had 29, most in the Big 12. But you had a big time throw percentage of 10.4% of your pass attempts. 10.4%. Tony, did you hear that? 10% of his throws were big time throws, according to Pro Football Focus.
1 out of 10.
The next closest in the league,
right?
5.7%.
Almost doubled.
Is that a pretty good year?
Who was that?
Don't have it in front of me. Touchdown, don't care. Only cared about him. Touchdown passes over 20 yards or more. Garrett led the Big 12 with 11, the only quarterback in double digits this year throwing the deep ball that well. How about rushing yards? Garrett led the Big 12, 708 rushing yards this season.
What's up?
His 13 rushing touchdowns led all Big 12 quarterbacks, was only one of only 2 Big 12 quarterbacks to have double-digit rushing touchdowns as well. You want me to keep going? Because I can. I got a couple more. Missed tackles forced. Garrett had 27. Again, led all Big 12 quarterbacks.
Wiggly hips.
And finally, 10-yard runs or more. Garrett led all Big 12 quarterbacks with 28. There's a million more. I know he's got to get to class, so we won't do them all. I think after going through all of that, said last night he got hosed out of this at least second team all Big 12 quarterback.
Yeah.
All due respect to Will Howard at Kansas State, had a good year. Garrett should have been that. I think we can safely name him as the Three Guys podcast Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
Correct? Everybody likes to give their own awards. Are you on board with that?
Yeah, no question. I wondered about
seriously,
that
listen to those
yesterday when
numbers.
Howard got. Look, I get Ollie Gordon's a player of the year. I mean, I do get that. But I mean, when you consider not only Garrett's, well, again, talk about it like he's not here. I mean, Garrett's passing and his running and his production based on those stats. I mean, that's
Worth to the team. Look at all those stats that I just gave right there.
I know.
Or Tony, you good with that? Three Guys, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, Garrett Greene.
Yeah, I'm getting ready. So we don't have a trophy yet because this is the first year we've done this. So I'm going to give him a piece of this peanut butter pie that you'll eat.
That's his award.
You'll eat this.
Oh
right?
yeah,
that's his award.
Dude, I'm gonna get you some.
Dude, in all seriousness,
from the
though,
South. Love language is food. So,
yo, that's unbelievable. Like, you didn't just have a good year. Like, if you would have come in and been the starter, first-year starter, put up some numbers, that would have been a good year. That's an elite year right there. That's one of the best offensive years in this league.
yeah,
There's not a question in there, but just more of a statement.
So how do you keep your head on straight?
a lot of it has to do with my dad.
Really?
You know, he just says that, you know, you're kind of just scratching the surface, and you know, it's kind of the first full year I've played as a quarterback in college. And you know, I know him and my family is going to keep me humble to keep working, and you know, we still got games to win. But the main thing is the main thing, and that's winning ball games.
Yeah.
Number one thing you'll work on the offseason heading into next year.
Tony said it earlier, but like basically just basic pass game fundamentals, so where the easy throws are 100%.
Yeah.
All right, so
You want me to try this live on air?
wait, so
Well,
I
you'll
cut
like
I cut you just a teeny little slide piece there. Yeah, seriously. So this is our first ever Big 12 Conference Player of the Year awarded by Three Guys, and we don't have a trophy, so we're paying them in peanut butter cake made by Laura Aleph.
Yeah.
Dude, tell me, talk me through here. What do you think?
Legit, right?
Yeah. That's what it's supposed to taste like, you know.
There it
There
is.
you go.
That's
There it is.
the standard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
Well, congratulations on your award. It was a wonderful season.
like you don't need.
That's not a traveling trophy. So you can
just
keep that.
Yeah, you get to yeah, and we'll take care of you, because let me just tell you this. Here's the deal on this show. Now that people know that you like that, at the Push Car Center, you're going to walk in one of these days, and Lori Rice is going to go, "Hey, Garrett, there's a package here for you," and then you're going to look over there, and there's going to just be people. Don't you think? You guys know this. People will send him stuff now.
Yeah.
And you'll just you won't need to pay for anything as far as desserts go. People will take care of you.
We shouldn't pay for anything when he's out.
Ever.
Right.
Forever.
well,
You heard that once a mountaineer, always a mountaineer thing?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's some truth to that.
If you see Garrett out having dinner, buy his dinner.
Buy his Kercheval.
guys don't
Now,
have
wait
to.
a second.
You guys don't
I
have
to
don't-
do that?
Just no.
You guys don't have to.
What do you mean you can't do that?
Well, I don't
Is there
know.
rules?
I don't know what
That's
the
a
rule-
violation.
I didn't know that.
currently.
What? There aren't anything. There's no such thing as
I
violations.
don't know where
you can't
these-
do that.
No.
Oh.
You can't buy a dinner.
Really?
I'd have to take a picture with him, I think.
Yeah, that would be an NIL. He'll
What now?
buy you dinner for NIL. I was going to say this. That is a violation, but if you're on a federal wiretap and you say, I made the kid a strong ass offer,
That's not a violation.
not a violation.
So that's
But if-
approved.
Yeah. But if you go get him like over at Fish World over there and you get him like a piece of Alaskan cod with some green beans, that would be a violation.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
I didn't know there were still rules.
It's crazy.
Except when you're from West Virginia and apply for a waiver. That might be the only situation.
Yeah,
where
that's
there's a
yeah,
rule.
it's
I
obviously
thought
a
otherwise you
violation.
could. Okay, he's got to go to class.
Yeah.
You got to go to class. Let's wrap it up.
Dude, I appreciate you coming
Yes,
in.
sir. Thank you guys.
Thanks,
This is
Garrett.
awesome.
Busy,
Thank
good
you.
to see you.
Busy time. There he is, Garrett Greene, presented by Daniel's Men's Store of Morgantown. You can go here in town or check out their website. All the gear they got. I mean, the reality
They
is
got
this:
it all.
they have there's gear all over. Like everyone sells gear. We get that. Everyone sells gear with the flying WV on it. Phil sells stuff that no one else has because he designs it.
Unique, it's elite. Real quick plug. We're recording on Thursday. If you get this in time, you're coming to the game tomorrow at the Coliseum. Friday night, it's a Gold Rush.
It's a Black Rush.
No, that's not. That's coming up later.
That's
Friday's the Gold Rush.
Oh, gold tomorrow.
Get it together. Friday's the Gold Rush. Phil's got a bunch of new gold that's out there. If you need something on your way to the Coliseum, you're about, half a mile from the Coliseum?
Yeah, if
Swing
that.
in, grab
Yeah.
it, head up to the game.
So you're saying gold on Friday,
Gold
black
Friday.
next Wednesday.
For Pitt.
Oh, okay.
He's got black stuff out, too, in
He does the
anticipation for
play-by-play
that.
doesn't even know.
Well, I mean, Hoppy, I'm like him. I turn off all social. I just focus. I watch game tape. I just watch the next game. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Garrett Greene. Now we're going to make our our super smooth transition. Here's textual healing. Put the slide up, and Garrett's going to disappear. It's like a magic trick. It's like Houdini. He's out. That's right, folks. 3 Guys Before the Game Textual Healing is brought to us by episode800.com. Visit episode800.com where you can get all of our stuff. I guess the cool people call it, see you, brother. I guess the cool people call it merch. So that means our unbelievable Game Day Grind coffee from Mountaineer Roasting, the Mountaineer Munch popcorn. I'm telling you, it is absolutely idyllic.
Idyllic, he says.
Idyllic. And I am a food snob.
Yes, you are.
Capital S. It's unbelievable. Sold out the first one. We've got more coming. All of our gear. We got the Efforting shirts. We've got the Hope shirts. We got the hats. Just visit episode800.com.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Just, you guys give me a hard time. And
no. What?
I feel like I ask questions that folks would want to know. But also, again, and Brad and I talked about this a lot in our coverage this year, and I know it was, for some reason, I mean, it was this real sort of, in one sense, a tumultuous year because Neil Brown's job was on the line, and what was going to happen this year was Garrett Greene. How good was he going to be? What about the offense? It was fun. We had a lot of fun this year.
This was a fun team to watch, specifically offensively with Garrett, and that's, I don't know that there's the right words. I know we use words for a living. I still don't feel like I'm getting the right words around what an unbelievable season that dude had. Right? I mean, you heard some of the numbers there. We talked about it. He went from not having started full-time to how many different categories did I say he led the Big 12, or he was top 10 nationally? And seriously, I could have done 30 of them. He didn't have a kind of good year, Hoppy. He had an unbelievable season.
It was a seminal year. It was going to a particular peak, which he may or may not exceed next year. You never know. But it was that kind of achievement that not only was it significant because of the level of achievement, but because of where he started. Okay. Because of the questions about whether or not he could achieve it, and then he not only did, but exceeded.
The taking care of the ball. If you go back in, and it's the reason why everybody always says you got to have a quarterback that produces, because the usage rate, they're throwing all your passes, right?
Yeah.
And in his case, he was getting so large of a bulk of the rush carries as well. The usage for him. Listen, Dylan Gabriel had a great year. There were some really talented offensive guys in this league. He was every bit in the conversation for Offensive Player of the Year this year.
No question.
For what he meant for a team picked last that finished 4th.
And then you had to have the pieces come together, right? You had the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You had
huge part of it.
Yeah, big part of it. You had receivers starting to make plays. You had Jaheim White come on. You had C.J. Dawson.
Multiple running backs.
So you had things like that all contributed, so it came together.
Sure.
And as you've talked about multiple times, you had some really, really good play calling and formational creations by the head ball coach.
No question. And then just the mental approach of, just stay on the offense for a second, that particular group to tune out all of that noise all season. And you heard him turn off Twitter and don't look at the nonsense and go out and play. I truly could not have been more impressed with what Garrett Greene did this season on the field.
Totally agree.
That's why he got the 3 Guys first ever Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year award.
And I'm totally good with giving him food instead of a trophy.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, trophies just...
Trophy come and goes. He'll remember that peanut butter cake for a long time.
Thank you. Trophy's just another trophy.
Thanks to Laura Aleph, by the way, as you mentioned.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. You have coffee with her recently?
With Natalie.
Oh, you had it with Natalie?
Yeah.
I thought you were with
Laura's
Laura.
daughter, Natalie.
Oh, yeah, no, Natalie. Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was Laura you went and had coffee. So Natalie's doing coffee now, too.
We had coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over at Mountaineer Roasting?
We did. Special 3 Guys blend.
Did you drink the blend?
A little 3 Guys blend.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
Talked to Rusty while we were over there.
Uh-huh.
Flying off the shelves, in fact, while we were there.
Yeah, I know. He told me.
Gosh, are we still on the air?
I don't know. We're just talking.
No, we're getting ready to tape.
Okay. 3, 2.
December is coming. Tomorrow it starts.
Yeah.
And up until December the 15th, check this out. Gomart teams up with M&M's to celebrate the Winterland giveaway. Gomart's spreading holiday cheer gives you a chance to win a $500 shopping package, or one of 2 $500 GoMart gift cards. Super easy to enter. Visit any GoMart, scan the QR code that's inside the store, and then let the holiday magic begin. Visit the GoMart app or visit gomart.com to learn more how you can enter into the Winterland giveaway, and goes until December the 15th. That'd be awesome. $500. You could just get a $500 gift card, $500 worth of Reese's, $500 worth of Slim Jims. Sir, did you have any other analytics on St. John's?
Yeah, you want to talk a little hoops for just a second? I won't give you a ton here, but that game comes up Friday at the Coliseum. As we mentioned, it's a gold rush, that game. This will be a big test. Rick Pitino back at St. John's, coming from Iona. So I've watched them a few times this year. They're still coming into their own. They're not where they're going to be at the end of the season. They do some things well, though. One of the best offensive rebounding teams in the nation. In fact, they're second. So you're going to have to keep them off the offensive glass. They shoot the three well, 33rd nationally. Stop me if you've heard that. Does that sound like a Pitino team?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? They're going to come after you. The one thing they don't do right now, they haven't been getting to the free throw line very much, just 4th percentile nationally in getting to the free throw line. So the challenges there for West Virginia are going to be able to keep them off the offensive glass. Don't give them free buckets. If you get a missed shot there, you have got to get it and start the other way.
A couple of things.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Hoppy came in before you were here, Brad, when you were up there waiting for Garrett. He said, he came in like Vince McMahon, like, I got St. John stuff. I said, okay. All right, big boy.
All I have is 2 little dated.
That's why he was getting nervous when you started, because he thought I was going to take what he had.
Yeah.
I know what you have. Don't worry. Go ahead. I saved stuff.
I'm not sure I want to do it now.
I pulled a Garrett Greene against Baylor with you. Just went right around what you had. I had my own stuff. Go ahead. What do you got?
Now I feel like an idiot doing it, but
it wouldn't be the first time.
Well, it's a little bit of a throwback, right? Like big man,
Mm-hmm.
Joel Soriano with St. John's, who's 6'11", 250, and Jesse Edwards, who's 6'11", 240.
Yeah.
Now they're not going to do old time Big East, right? Where they throw the ball down there all the time, but you do have big man on big man.
I tell you what, they would be nice if they did old Big East, 6 fouls. Remember when the Big East
They did
tested
do that.
6 fouls? Go ahead.
That's a great point.
So there's that. I think that'll be an intriguing matchup to watch. You know, Chris Ledlum that's an interesting story, because he came from Harvard, was going to go to Tennessee. Rick Pitino went to him and said, tell you what, you're from Brooklyn, don't want you to go down south.
And this check cashes.
Yeah, stay here in New York. He's sick. He's been sick. But they think he'll play but may not start. So, and I think, like Brad, like you said, this team is just starting to come together, because there's 12 new guys, right, and 10 transfers, whatever. So you could catch this. You could get this one, because they haven't come together either. One thing that does concern you is Pitino team. They like to run, and West Virginia doesn't have a deep bench. So those are my nuggets.
Yeah, they're not running as much as they will when Pitino gets other guys in there. But Soriano's, really good. He's shooting almost 80% at the rim on his shots close to the basket. So Edwards, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. And this may be one of those games. You saw it down in Florida, Tony, when Edwards started the second half with those 3 quick fouls, and you got into foul trouble. Outside of that, you haven't seen it.
Right.
This is going to test that, right? Pitino, pretty smart coach. I think he knows what he's
pretty
doing.
Good coach, yeah.
So their best player's a big. They know they want to get Edwards in foul trouble. I would think this is a game where they feed Soriano early, and Edwards is going to have to make a decision on how to defend. That's a really tough thing. If they're going man-to-man, what's Edwards supposed to do with a big guy backing in on him here? That's going to be a tough matchup.
1,000% right. And here's the other intangible in this game. Quinn Slazinski of West Virginia played for Rick Pitino at Iona.
He did, that's right.
Let's say that it wasn't all applesauce and rainbows. So it'll probably go one of 2 ways. Slazinski either goes off and has one of those games where he gets against his coach and shows him up, or he tries too hard and it doesn't materialize well. It'll be probably one of the 2 extremes, and probably not the middle.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So Slazinski, but he was at St. John's, right?
He was at Iona.
At Iona.
This is Pitino's first year at St. John's. He was at Iona last year. Slazinski was at Iona last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
One other note on Soriano, his shots are straight up the middle of the field. Of the court.
Excuse me?
He'll go at the rim, then he'll step into the lane and hit some shots. Then he'll go right elbow and take a couple. And the only time he's going to shoot a 3 is dead down the middle of the floor. He's 4 of 5 from the top of the key shooting a 3, has not attempted one anywhere else.
You know why? Because he's been watching that new in-season NBA tournament, and they have that middle
Yeah, like that tunnel for you.
Right, yeah. They have the tunnel right down the middle of the floor.
He stays right in the tunnel. That's a tremendous call by you.
Yeah, stays
that's
right in the
a tremendous call. He stays right in the NBA tournament tunnel. Does Soriano. Very good. He's really good. That's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Okay. I mean, I got more, but that's good.
Texter.
Thanks for letting me have a little.
I thought you did well. You just bring 2 every show. We'll stick with you.
Real quick, we talked about pace there, and you're right. Patino teams normally up and down on you. 56 in the country right now in tempo. So they will get up and down, not probably where they're going to be in year 3 under him there, but they will get up and down. That will be an issue for West Virginia as well.
You know what Josh Eilert said to me the other day? I don't know what we were just talking. I never heard this in my life, but it makes all the sense in the world right now. They deliberately take a foul to let the defense rest. They have a play set where they'll just say, "Commit a foul."
Have to do it,
so we can just get our breath. I mean, this is where this.
That's an old Warren Baker strategy. I mean, Bake said that he used to be left in the game 38 minutes. He said he'd foul somebody.
Sure.
I gotta get a breather.
Seriously, yeah, absolutely right. From the text line, listening to the podcast Monday about the trust and keeping guys for next year. Even if you get the guy that you want, nothing is guaranteed. JT Daniels got paid, didn't turn out to be worth it. Neil has shown an ability to find guys that others miss. Jaheim, CJ, etc. I hope they stay, but I believe in Neil's ability to recruit. We talked about that yesterday. Beanie Bishop, Cole Taylor were both off-season acquisitions. They both earned. Beanie first team and Cole Taylor second team in the Big 12. So those are 2 big hits.
Those are big-time hits.
And you're not going to hit everybody, but you got to hit some hits.
You got to hit some. And corner, to the texter's point there, I know he referenced Jaheim, but really you should be referencing cornerbacks there because that's the position where you're going to have to get in the portal and reload. You're losing both your starters. Beanie Bishop, as you mentioned, all-conference guy. Malachi Ruffin, great program guy that played all year and had a really good season this year. So you're going to have to go back in. And listen, they've done a good job. Last year they didn't end up with a high-end guy there necessarily, but they've gone in there and got Alonzo Adai, a Charles Woods, now add Beanie Bishop. So at that position specifically, defensive backfield, I should say, Adai played safety. Defensive backfield, they've shown an ability to go in and find guys out of the portal to play defensive backfield for them.
Mike in Myrtle writes, until there is a national pay scale approved and disclosed, the trust pool or collective should not be public knowledge in my opinion. Why? You're opening a can of worms for more public and media speculation on why you kept this guy and didn't spend more to keep a guy that left who's having more success. I have a couple more thoughts, but trying to keep my text short. Thanks for having me. Signed by Mike and Myrtle. Texter, hey, Brad, how about the final grade on Garrett Greene, 7th in all Power 5s with a 90.8? I would like to know when was the last time a quarterback finished in the top 10 grade-wise at the end of the season from West Virginia.
Good question.
Probably have to effort that, huh, Brad?
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Has a West Virginia quarterback ever finished in the top 10?
Mm-hmm.
Texter, Pat from Wheeling. That's up there in the Northern Panhandle, Hoppy.
Oh, yeah.
I saw these in a local convenience store yesterday. Since you guys are Reese's savants, I naturally thought of you. Have you guys seen these giants? I considered buying one and sending it to you, but was afraid it might max out my Visa card. But I figured I would have to send 2 packs of 2 for Tony and 1 for each for Brad and Hoppy. Hoppy could slice it like a pie, and it would last a week or 2.
Fair point.
Love the podcast, so they know you, Hoppy.
Know about them, have had them, love them.
What are they?
Big giant.
Half-pound Reese cup.
Oh, it's half-pound Reese?
Yeah.
Oh, like it's a Reese cup.
Yeah, I mean, he's serious. You would use it like a pie.
Now think about how big that is. Think about that. Think about how big that is. And we're talking about 8 ounces. We're talking about half pound, right?
Yeah.
So that's 2 quarter pounders of Reese's. Now it doesn't come with bread, but I mean it's you know what I mean.
But what would you eat? Like a normal piece of candy would be 2 ounces,
maybe. Yeah, maybe like a 4. It'd be like a 4-bagger. Texter, I'll tell you this cake's sitting right here.
That's a big cake.
I'm bringing it upstairs. I'm gonna let everyone share because that's what I need
you're
to
gonna
do.
have to because I can't eat that whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
fairly new listener here. Echo another message. Go Red Devils. Anyway, what's your opinion on the transfer rule with a coaching change? With the rules now, it's an almost pointless rule aside from an extended window if it's a late coaching change. Wouldn't it help Raekwon, but wouldn't change the rule that 2-time non-grad transfers makes more sense to actually be a useful rule? So what he's saying is this. If your coach leaves, you still should be eligible as a two-time transfer. That's the point he's making. And the reason that Raekwon...
Agree.
Yeah, right? And the reason Raekwon isn't is because he would be a two-time transfer that hasn't graduated. But it makes all the frickin' sense in the world. But then again, don't try to apply sense. Jeff in Lumberport, I'm scrolling through your website, episode 800, and I just got excited. Just when I thought the hanky was there, nope, it's a Three Guys car flag.
Car flag.
Looks good, but it wasn't
Car
a
flag
hanky.
now?
Car flag.
Yeah, we do. Should I stop looking for the hanky? I can't order by 10 December if it isn't there. By the way, which is my 40th birthday. Thank you, Jeff, and happy early birthday to you. Jeff's going to be 40. Can we get that?
I don't know.
Can we get a
There's
doggone
a lot of things. We got a lot of things going. Got coffee, popcorn.
Hey,
Speaking of that, you're wearing a nice Phil Daniels, the Peter Millar quarter zip.
I love
with the new secondary mark.
Really happy with the new logo.
Designed by a WVU student.
Yes, it is, because that's what we do. We help West Virginia people and kids. But anyway, why is it?
You're at the wrong camera.
Gosh, what are you new?
Can you zoom in on this?
On TV all the time, and he can't figure out how to get the camera. I don't know. I don't know if do we have a producer out there?
Well, I don't know if that one's automatic.
There we go.
But anyway, the logo,
nice and subtle.
I love it. It's totally subtle.
This is not subtle.
You can represent Three Guys, but you could also be at a cocktail party, and it looks just like a nice little, cool little squiggly.
And we're frequently at cocktail parties.
And we've said before,
I'm going to one this weekend.
So this one, I've got the original, right? Which is great. Love this. Like that stands out. It's excellent. That's a nice. If you know, you know.
Right. Precisely.
If you know, you know. Kind of like an inside.
You didn't get an invitation to that cocktail party?
No.
This weekend?
No.
Up where Christian lives? You didn't get to call on that one?
No.
Yeah. I'll tell people you said hi. Hey, Three Guys, can I get a little love and shout out to my gold and blue clad Greenbrier West Cavs? They're headed to Wheeling State A Championship. Assistant coach, none other than the runaway beer truck Owen Schmidt. Signed, not Charlie from Charmco. Certainly.
Metro News with complete
story.
coverage this weekend. Brad, you'll be there.
We wish all 6 of the teams the absolute best.
You know, real quick on that, it's going to be a fun full circle moment for West Virginia fans watching that. You've got both runaway beer trucks in attendance.
Yes.
Wes Hours, the original in the Music City Bowl.
Right.
You know, rumbling down that left sideline there.
Yeah.
He'll be there. Son Dylan plays for Fairmont Senior, one of the best players in state. Wes assists coaching. And then Owen, the latest version, he will be there as well.
Do you think both of those runaway beer trucks would be carrying Kircheval in their
I don't think there's
trucks?
any question.
Yeah. Texter, hearing your last episode reminded me of my first ever WVU basketball game. It was my 15th birthday, and I asked to go to a game and had dinner at Jambi's restaurant. Awesome. In 96, I got to see West Virginia defeat Miami at the Coliseum in the first Big East season. My mom, dad, late little brother, and I made it a weekend hitting up the old Econo Lodge that used to be by the Shoney's right near the Coliseum. Great memories, Randy in Silver Spring, Maryland, by the way of Mason County.
Nice Econo Lodge reference. I think they tore that down.
They didn't see the Econo Lodge coming in today.
Did not see that.
That's right. Well done.
Well done.
Texter, I read the Ross Dellinger article from Yahoo Sports on November 21 that Tony's mentioned a couple of times. This particular sentence stood out. The Knight Commission is encouraging college football playoff leaders to place restrictions on how that distributed money can be used by schools, such as tethering it to educational purposes and athlete health and well-being, as well as regulating excessive coaching salaries through earmarks. I find it quite curious that just as athletes are about to be able to be paid directly by the university, that all of a sudden the individuals at the top who determine how the money gets used have decided now is finally the time to get spending under control. Gee, what a coincidence. Signed by J.D., Southern Coalfields. Texter. This person's funny because they started their text by saying texter, comma, because they knew I was going to say texter. So I guess I got to say...
They're just going to read it for you. They put it in there.
Well, I guess I got to say texter. I stand by my text pre-win. I believe the frustration for Mountaineer fans with the results of the season comes down to 5 years without being ranked. We have not been in the national conversation for 5 years. How often has that happened in the last 30 years? JP in Parkersburg. Texter, long-time listener, second-time texter. I know a lot's already been said about Zach Frazier's final play. I have not heard anyone mention what he did leading up to getting hurt and the heroics of getting off the field. Think about what he did. Pass block, gave Garrett time to throw downfield too soon and getting penalized. Released at the right time, got 6 to 7 yards downfield to carry Clement for a first down. That part was critical. He understood that without a first down, the clock continues to go. He actually probably saved us an additional 10 seconds doing that. Proud of him, the entire staff. Ken in Huntersville, North Carolina. P.S. Tony, the next time you're down this way, just to help you with the geography, if you're in a Home Depot, then you're in Cornelius. But if you're just down the street at Lowe's, you're in Huntersville. Yeah. Because that whole Huntersville, Mooresville, Lowe's
That's all
thing, yeah. Texter, my buddy from middle school introduced my other buddy of 40 years to this show. Our group chat blows up every Monday and Thursday after we listen to your shows. We all live apart. About 2 of us are in North Carolina, one's in West Virginia. I bought the 3 guys hats for an early Christmas. Thanks for having us. There he is. Look at that. Ain't that kind of neat?
Nice.
Thank you very much.
We've helped bring friends together.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we do.
Good work, fellas. Thank you.
Here's my guy here, Charlie from Midlothian. Those pears, by the way,
They were good.
remember when I told you about those Harry and David pears?
Yeah.
That they have that window that once they get ripe, like you got to go. Well, I came in this morning, and there were 2 left in that box, and I mean, I put my knife in them, and that skin comes off like velvet.
Yeah.
Crushed them.
I took one down yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I've been testing mine. It's got to go today. I haven't eaten.
Oh,
it
you got to go today.
I got to go today.
Hurry up,
go.
dude. I'm
Yeah,
just
this
telling you. You
Matter
got
of
to
fact, I
go.
might have to go home after this. And
Yeah.
I think you go now.
I can't wait till after work.
Go now.
Charlie writes in, my research budget.
2:30 Eastern.
Alarm going off.
My research budget is limited due to the recent pear purchase. Although we did gas 3 vehicles last night using the 35-gallon limit for just, look at that, $2.76 he paid for 35 gallons. But I digress, he says. My Google search has found that Rocket Ismail returned 2 kicks for touchdowns twice in victories against Rice and Michigan in the Big House. Another Baylor player did it back in 2020. However, one was a kickoff and the second one was a free kick after a safety. Again, Baylor won both. So the Mountaineers are the only team to give up 2 and still win the game.
Interesting.
How about my guy? He got 35 gallons of gas for $2.76. Is he the frickin' best? That's the way he can send those pears. Those pears aren't cheap.
They were good.
They're
Thanks, Charlie.
expensive.
Yeah, they were good.
Hoppy, by the way, Charlie, got the golden pear that's wrapped in the gold foil. He thinks it's like Willy Wonka.
Special, yeah.
He thinks he gets something special for that.
Gets me into the pear factory.
This was kind of neat. I got several of these, and we'll show you several. So Spotify, at the end of this year, Hoppy, the calendar year, they send out to people who are listening to their audio where they rank. So you probably get a lot of these. I thought I'd share how much time I've wasted listening to you 3 guys. So there is. This person is listed for 4,055 minutes, which makes him a 10% fan in the top 10 percentile of people that listen to 3 guys on Spotify.
A devoted fan.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Hey, 3 guys, Tim in Austin, just wanted to say thanks for another great year of Mountaineer Insight, navigating us through a pretty nice season. I was blessed to catch 4 games, Pitt, Texas, tour of TCU, Houston, last week, Baylor. This team is fun to watch. They never quit. Glad we're going bowling. Maybe the team will be nearby and I can catch another game. My suggestion for the home version of thanks for having us would be, hey, don't be a stranger. Thanks for all you guys do. And that's a pretty good one.
That is.
Hey, don't be a stranger.
Hey, don't be a stranger. We'll see you. See you guys back here.
I know, but with this massive league coming up, some of them will be strangers. You'll
think
play somebody and then not play them again for another 3
How
years.
about this one?
Yeah, Arizona State. Like,
how about this one at
Play the
home?
league still?
How about this one at home? Super, super simple, but it's still, how about just good seeing you? You're walking out of the home venue, basketball, football, you beat them, and you had talked to them earlier, and you just say, hey, good seeing you. What do you think?
I think I like good luck. Hey, good luck the rest of this season. Like you, just like that.
But you don't mean it.
It's okay. No,
But you really don't mean it.
You kind of do because you beat them, and then the better season they have, the better it is for you.
I don't want to wish them too much good luck. No one gives you good luck. No one tells you good luck. And plus, the thanks for having us is perfect because you're truly saying we just won in your building. Thanks for having us. Like you truly mean, thanks for having us.
Yeah, we really haven't landed on anything yet.
That's why I don't know if you need it. The road's a special kind of victory. Those road wins.
You think maybe not even have one for home.
Maybe just land in.
Yeah.
Maybe not even have one.
Yeah. I mean, the Southern West Virginia be careful is a good one.
Yeah,
those people down in Southern West Virginia, they can't say be careful enough when you leave. When you go down to Southern West Virginia, it's just be careful. Like you're going into a fun house or something.
Hey.
Hoppy, in
Be
light
careful.
of Trust the Climb to lessen your anxiety, this is a doctor, Hoppy.
Uh-oh.
The doctor recommends this. Trust the Trust, signed by Dr. Jeff in Charleston. P.S. If an opposing player runs a kickoff back for 90-plus yards, why would you kick it to him again moments later?
A fair question.
I think Neil Brown had the same question.
Or when you see,
Sometimes what the coach called and then what happened on that field go different.
or sometimes when you kick it to him a second time is also then tackle or get in his way or something. I mean, that was bad.
Will from Williamstown, which is probably not his name, writes, 3 guys, after eating a tub of the famous Mountaineer Munch, I grabbed my 3 guys throw blanket and drifted off into a deep slumber. In my dream, Marvin Graves gets ejected for inciting a fight. Tremaine Mack is blocked and the punt sails downfield. Pete Gonzalez's pass on 4th and 17 falls incomplete. And WV fans, don't complain about our schedule when we go 8-4. Maybe it was the Kirchevale, but the dream sure was nice. Signed by Will in Williamstown. There's a dedicated fan that knows about some real pain points in Mountaineer history right there.
Right, excited to watch his Yellow Jackets coming up.
Oh, sure.
Playing Saturday night for a natty.
Well, they're playing against Greenbrier West.
State title, not natty, but
natty.
Yeah.
3 guys headed to the game.
Natty.
We just call them World Championship. That's all they are. 3 guys headed to the game Friday looking for some hope. Question for each of you, yes or no? West Virginia will win 2 of its next 3 games. As always, I love the show. Signed by Corey in Washington, D.C. P.S. I've done my part on the 3 guys Christmas shopping. How can I get some 3 guys popcorn? So I'm glad you asked that. Note, popcorn's on the website, but here's the deal. As you know, we do these West Virginia businesses. The popcorn and the coffee are made here in West Virginia, but one's in Morgantown, one's in Shepherdstown. If you ordered multiple items in one order, you're going to get multiple packages. So they won't, like, if you get a T-shirt and a coffee and popcorn, you're going to get 3 different packages. Okay, so don't
freak out if
don't
there's
freak
one
out
thing
if
in a
all of a
package.
sudden you got the popcorn. You go, wait a second, where's my other stuff? You're going to get 3 packages because we also are strong advocates of using the U.S. Postal Service. So we want to let those guys get as much as they can out of the deal. But yeah, December 10, right, Senator, on that stuff.
Order by December 10.
Yeah.
Just to make sure they have time to get it to you.
Stuff's going out all the time, and it's been fantastic. But yeah, so just to make sure you got it. Do that, and you might get multiple orders. Hey, 3 guys, Spotify wrapped up 2023. I'm proud to say I'm on the leaderboard, top 5%. There's a top 5% right there.
Nice.
Thanks for all the hard work to help me get through grad school. College sports has been a passion of mine, have been a great distraction. Signed by a future rocket scientist, Josh from Morgantown. Godspeed, young man.
Future rocket scientist.
Yeah.
Mineral
small
County.
step for man.
1 large step for 3 guys. Mineral County checks in. This is Eric in Burlington. 3 guys, I'm going to make this rant short and to the point. I really wish our fan base would tune into a 3 guys episode before the game to obtain educated intellectual statistics, especially from the senator, before posting nonsense online. The factual information, I believe, might help dilute the keyboard pushers throwing fire without education facts to back it up, and maybe, not as I've been in law enforcement 17 years, and sometimes common sense is hard to come by. On a side note, the fans that want Jimbo, he had a top recruiting class and beat 1 ranked team in the past 2 seasons and only 1 win on the road total. Absolutely love the show. Keep up the good work. Please send lots of Mountaineer roasting coffee. Eric will. Well, if he's in law enforcement, those guys drink a lot of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
I would think,
Thank you, Eric.
going forward, probably all state police barracks, probably in their coffee machines, probably should have game day grind from Mountaineer roasting.
Probably right.
I mean,
it won't be
Flying
long.
off the shelves, Hoppy.
Plus, how many times you're in law enforcement, 9 o'clock at night, something happens, you go, well, better put on a pot of coffee.
Exactly.
It's going to be a long night.
Exactly. Now you can get that. Yeah, absolutely. Texter, I think it qualifies me. This qualifies me as a P1 listener, even if my kid texted in a couple of months ago and tattled that I said Tony was 80 years old. Thanks for all the great times and enjoying the show. Eric and Nutter. So he is a 4% guy. 5,400 minutes he's given us this year of his life.
Awesome. Thanks,
Awesome.
Or Eric. Thank you.
This next one was an ethnic racial attack on me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Really?
So I'll delete the ethnic slur, and I'll pick it up.
Don't like that.
I'm talking to you, Tony. You disrespected me the last time I texted into this show. You mocked me, and you questioned whether I even existed. Don't ever doubt my existence, Tony. I am an elusive figure who is seldom seen, but I do make an occasional stealth appearance. Here I am attending the WVU Vermont soccer game last Saturday. I developed a passion for the beautiful game when I lived in the old country before immigrating to Point Pleasant. Kudos to Lieutenant Dan and the team on their great tournament run. I may even make another stealth appearance at the Loyola Marymount game. If you plan to be there, broadcast boy, watch your back.
What am I looking at?
And one more thing, Mike Jockey, stop bad-mouthing all the fine, upstanding CPAs of the state when you're introducing spreads on stats. My son-in-law is a CPA, and I will not stand for it. I'll put the Mothman curse on you, son. Doubt me at your peril. Signed, P666 listener, Mothman from Point Pleasant.
Wow.
So he was at the game, and there's the Mothman thing.
It's
I'll tell you something, Mothman. I'll punch you right in the face. Repeatedly and often.
Plus, he doesn't know you travel with security. So
I know the Mothman.
Oh, do you?
Well, I mean, I've already broadcast that. I think that's well-noted fact.
Move on.
Do we have a T-shirt in episode 800 that says "I know the Mothman"?
Oh, that's a good question.
That'd be a good shirt. I'd probably be the only one that could wear it.
Guys, somewhere busy days going, well, I guess I better get in and work on that.
First thing I want Dave to do is put a doggone hanky for that poor buddy
poor
out
Jeff
there.
in Lumberport's killing.
Yeah, I know.
Just
Three guys.
one of mine.
Yeah.
No, can't do
You
Not
can't do
doing-
that?
We're
No.
not selling. We're not giving reused
No.
ones. Hey,
What's
three
wrong?
guys.
You shouldn't even be reusing yours,
Yeah,
let
those
alone
are-
Jeff
that
and
is
Lumberport.
There's nothing
reusing
wrong
it.
with a handkerchief.
That
Do
is
you not have a
that is
handkerchief?
the most doggone filthy thing that has not.
Hold
yet.
on. He just asked me, and you say what?
Do you not have a handkerchief?
And was stunned. No, I don't have a handkerchief.
Why wouldn't you have a handkerchief?
Why would you? Get
Why do
Kleenex.
you have that
I'd go get a
stupid
Kleenex.
thing?
Well, right now, if you like something happened now,
I go get a doggone paper towel.
Or a Kleenex. That's what they're for.
What
Tissue.
are you? Are you 206, Ben Franklin? I mean, what are you doing?
You don't need a handkerchief because you're going to blow your nose and put it back in your pocket.
People started using that before paper.
Yeah,
I mean, that is the most
I always had a
ridiculous
handkerchief.
old man thing I've ever seen.
I always have a handkerchief.
It
For
should be
what reason?
disposable. Get it out of you, and then you dispose of it. You don't put it back on your person.
Here, let me blow disease and germ into my face and stick it in my pocket, get it all over my hand, so the next time I have to use it, I'll stick my hand back in, get more disease on it, and then I'll blow it on my nose. Oh,
I try and
he's
get your
doing
back
it
when
again.
I try and get your back when I can. I cannot. I cannot in this. No, I don't have a hanky.
I have a hanky.
Do you have a handkerchief? He was stunned.
What if I burst into tears at some point?
Well,
Use a paper towel.
Use your sleeve.
I hate to see it come to this. It's been a good run.
I did not know. That was like, don't have a handkerchief. I didn't know that was.
Here's what. Okay, now
I didn't
let's-
know it was radioactive.
Now we're gonna go graduate level. Brad. Now we're gonna go graduate level on this. Do you know how bummed out he's been at me? Do you know how bummed out he's been at me through the years? We've known each other for 200 years. I'll go into his office during cold and flu season.
Yeah.
And I'll go I would be talking. All of a sudden, I got a hack. So I'll just go, and I'll bring one up and spit in his garbage can. And my man,
he loses it.
He loses his mind. So I can't spit into a garbage can.
No, you can't.
And but it's totally bad doing that. But he can blow his nose, get all kinds of mucosiles on his face, and God knows what germs, and stick it back into his pocket.
Okay.
And I'm the bad guy.
Problem solved. Next time you go to his office and have to do that, ask to borrow his hanky. And just hack it right into the hanky and then give it back to him. Say, what's the problem?
Next time
What's the problem? You want me to go get a tissue or just want to use your hanky?
Well, wait a minute.
Just gonna use your hanky.
Okay, there's a difference between he came in and spit in my trash can. It's
got a liner.
I'm
That is
coming to your house and spit on the floor.
That is kind of gross too.
Hey,
It
listen.
is
Probably
gross.
shouldn't do
Thank
that.
you.
You know what I'm doing next time?
What?
I'm coming into your office. I'm going to go, yo, big boy. I'm going to pick your garbage can up, put it on your desktop, and I'm going to go one hand into one side of my nose and just do a complete blowout, clean out. Nice. Might get a neti pot. Just pour it back there and just double down on my nose in your garbage can.
Neti pot.
Neti pot reference.
You know, I don't think you're supposed
These
to
poor
use
people,
those.
they're texting in that their top fan on Spotify, and you jacklegs are talking about Neti Potts and looking it into his wastebasket. These poor people are spending 5,000 minutes listening to us right? You're talking, you got a handkerchief. No more.
Yeah, move on.
No more. No, I mean no more handkerchief. Move on, yes, but no more handkerchief.
I'll never get rid of
They sell those little packs of tissues. You can get the little carry-on pack of tissues. Buy them for like $1 in the Target aisle there, where you can just buy individual servings of things. Just get one. Just get a pack.
Got to remember, to him, $1 is $200,000.
Put it out there to our listeners. Yes to handkerchiefs, no to handkerchiefs. That's all. See what our listeners say.
Thank you.
Okay.
Deal.
3 guys, I have to admit I was wrong. WVU football exceeded my expectations. I had to purchase Fubo TV in order to watch West Virginia's last 4 games, although I wasn't happy with the result with the Oklahoma game. This team was fun. Garrett Greene, Jaheim White combo brought back memories of White and Slayton. Okay, maybe a little bit. Coach Brown, very likable. I think he could end up being another Don Nealon even though he has started out a little bit slower than Don. But maybe after a few off-season adjustments, a few transfer pickups, West Virginia could be better next year if most of the star players come back. By the way, I noticed that Musa Cisse was cleared to play for Ole Miss. Now the NCAA needs to do the same for Raekwon Battle. Let's cheer on the men's soccer team. Keep up the great work. Going for episode 800. Won't happen. Signed by Hot Rod in Woodbridge, Virginia.
That's is that Saturday, Tony? It's Saturday?
Saturday at 2. They moved the women's game up to noon. So you can go over to the Coliseum, watch the women's game noon. They got the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. Mm-hmm. And then you can go right across the parking lot there and go watch the guy that you hired as the men's soccer coach. He was on our show on Sportsline this week.
You still doing that?
Personally, not often.
True that.
This time of year, not a whole lot. I'm here during the summer.
Like Johnny Carson.
Yeah. Texter, Professor Vinny here. I thought I'd add some stats and clarification to those individuals complaining about 8-4 football seasons. West Virginia football has been consistently playing 10 or more games since 1913, so it's about 110 years. In approximately 38% or 34% of those seasons, they've had 8 or more wins. That means in 72 seasons, or 66% of the time, they've had 7 wins or less. Go deeper in the numbers. Furthermore, 21 of those 8-win seasons have come when West Virginia was a member of a conference 55% of the time. Regardless, it's a lot easier to get 8 wins when you're playing in the Southern Conference or you're playing Rutgers, Temple, and BC, with all due respect. The point is, winning is indeed hard. I'll take 8-4 in the Big 12 over 8-4 in the Big East. Side note, you want to have a good chuckle, go back and look at some of the teams that West Virginia played back in the 28, 37, 69 season. We're talking Richmond, West Virginia Wesleyan, Fordham, Waynesburg, VMI, Western Maryland, William and Mary, and I swear to goodness, Davis and Elkins College.
All due respect.
Yeah. There are some absolutely crazy funny things that if you go back into the late 1800s and the early 1900s, I mean, I'm talking, you think Wild Wild West right now as far as eligibility, the guys that played in games back then was comical. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were dudes that are like grown-ass men that just, they'd pop them in there. Well, there's a guy would play over here on a weekend, then go play in a professional league over in Ohio. And, you know, it's just funny stuff. I mean, it's just kind of funny stuff. Last one, Robert in Big Chimney. I know it's too late to comment on the Baylor game, but the Mountaineer football team literally snatched a victory from the jaws of defeat. How many times have we said they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory? And then he said this, by the way, that popcorn, he's talking about Mountaineer Munch, is great with 3 exclamation points. It truly is. I had not tried it yet. I saw it being made. They sent video out and showing the people there in Shepherdstown making it Mountaineer popcorn. And then I got a bag. Well, we had the bags here.
Yeah.
And then I opened it. It was just like,
speechless.
It was there it is right there. It was like one of the first time I drank the Kirchervale beer. It was like, holy cow, this is really, really good. You won't go wrong. I'm giving you my 100% seal of approval on that stuff. If you like chocolate, If you like light peanut butter flavor and that great caramel, it just is. Get it before December 10.
Get you some.
Where do you get it?
Episode800.com. Episode800.com. That's where you get that from.
No handkerchiefs, though, available.
They do not. No, they do not.
Which have apparently fallen out of favor anyway.
Yeah, I guess it would be
1963. They found
Do you have suspenders there? Spats? Men's garters for socks? Collars?
pocket watch, train whistle.
Top hat. What did you say, train whistle?
Train whistle. Because like a pocket watch.
He give me a pocket watch.
Boy.
Chain that goes right there too.
Anything I'm missing?
Those rubber coin purses.
Dungarees.
Dungarees. Hey, so again, let's have a meeting right now in front of everybody.
Okay.
So basketball plays
Friday.
We'll just come in and do a show Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because we'll wrap up the St. John's basketball game. Look ahead to
Wrap up the soccer game.
Yep.
Women's basketball is playing Saturday, Monday. They're going Saturday, Monday. So we'll do a Monday show.
Yeah. Heavy week of basketball coming. St. John's, then Pitt, then Drexel.
Ooh. Yeah, it's big. Can you get two?
That's a hard stretch. Pitt's playing well. St. John's is better. Drexel's got Zach Spiker, Morgantown native coach of Drexel's got a really good team. They rolled last night over Lafayette. Yeah. It's a tough stretch. Well,
yeah.
I mean, the rest of the season,
guess what?
Stretch. Yeah, it's going to be a tough stretch.
Well,
but you got to get what you can.
Three more those, and then those three and the 9-game stretch. Kirk Harisa then becomes eligible after that. That will be a massive addition, obviously.
Yes, and yes. Okay, so all business, I think, is in order. Special thank you to Daniel's Men's Store of Morgantown for sponsoring Garrett Greene to come on the program.
That was a lot of fun. You know, we had him on just 2 days before practice started back in August and got him back 5 days after the season ended. That was a fun, talk about the season going fast. That was a fast run, but what a difference in just that 3 months, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, what a high-character guy to come back here after Hoppy assaulted him. Right?
I think you were totally fine.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. I thought I was too.
But no, all kidding aside, think about this. Think about it. When he was here 2 days before practice started, we legitimately like, okay, well, we knew he was going to be the quarterback. I mean, it was. But at the same time, it was like, okay, you're going to be the quarterback. I hope things go well. And then to listen to the numbers that he put out there now that the season's over, I mean, those are national numbers. What did he rank as the number among quarterbacks?
Seventh best quarterback grade in the country.
If you would have
That's
said,
what I'm saying. He didn't just have a good year. He had an elite year.
I mean, if you would have said before the season, if you would have quoted those numbers, say, here's what you need to achieve, you'd go, that's impossible.
He's not doing that.
That's impossible.
He can't do that. That's too much of a 1 year leap.
Right.
15-4. 15. I think, hey, Garrett, next time you come back, you need to throw 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You need to run for over 700 yards, lead the Big 12 in rushing. You need to be the 7th best rated quarterback in the country. Can you do that for us? Yeah, I'll get on that.
If you would have said that or suggested that, we would have said, you dial it down. You're nuts.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Who's doing that in their first year as a starter? He did.
3 guys before the game brought to us by
and missed a game.
Yeah.
Almost basically two games.
Yeah, 5 plays of the Pitt game.
And those 4 interceptions weren't all on him.
3 guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, efficient for 25 years. By GoMart, go for good times. Go for GoMart. It's like a new Chuck Berry song. Go for GoMart. 3 guys also brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit Lou Wendell Marine Sales.com, and by the Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond the numbers.
I bet Jeff Jenkins has a handkerchief.
I think he does.
Does he go handkerchief because of Kercheval, or he just did that on his own?
Eastern Kanawha County grew up Eastern Kanawha County. I think it was a big train area too. A lot of handkerchiefs in that area. Well, he had train tracks right by his house.
What's that have to do with a handkerchief?
What's that have to do with a handkerchief?
You brought up like a train whistle and train in conjunction with handkerchief. What does one have to do with the other?
Handkerchiefs and trains are synonymous with each other. Oh, railroad guys always have like that red squared handkerchief.
Anything to do with a railroad?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about trains. You're
There's a train station out
train guy.
There's a train station out
Ask
near
our train guy.
Martinsburg.
We have a train expert that listens to us.
Ted.
Ted.
You know me and
Ted have a
trains.
handkerchief?
I've been advocating for an international or for a domestic train system, and Ted squashed that down.
Well, Ted's probably got 17 different colors of handkerchiefs.
I bet he does.
Trains and handkerchiefs.
All aboard.
The all common that everybody knows, trains and handkerchiefs.
All aboard. Make sure you have your handkerchief.
I'm sorry. Have you already named this episode? Because that should be the name of this episode. Trains and handkerchiefs.
Our music's done. See you.